Hey guys, behind me is a very interesting Resto-mod. It is an International Scout 800 and it basically has an original body that's been restored and it's sitting on a Jeep chassis. But what's under the hood is the most interesting part. It is a 2.8 liter Cummins diesel crate engine, and everything you ever wanted to know is coming up right now.
We really value the retro vintage aesthetic, and we want to preserve those things that make the Scout such a great iconic vehicle, but we also want to make them run and drive and perform up to modern day standards. So what we have here is just a basic beautifully restored Scout 800 body, all original sheet metal, sitting on a modern Jeep JK chassis, outfitted with AEV suspension, just all quality aftermarket parts. And by doing that, we feel like we get to leverage the best of OE engineering and also the aftermarket just investment of research and development. We work hard to keep all the suspension mounting points in the factory location so that aftermarket suspensions and accessories will bolt right up to the chassis. And these are Jeep Rubicon Dana 44 axles. Couple cool, really cool things. The interior is all fitted with waxed canvas from a company called Duluth Pack up in Duluth, Minnesota. And so we're happy to work with that. Simple utilitarian is kind of the theme of this truck. Dash is all original. We've restored the original gauges, and it's outfitted with an S-Pod. So it has modern wiring, modern electronics that's all kind of tastefully hidden. We made up this cool little jump seat. This is an additional seat from factory.
Yeah.
And then we have a rear-mounted subwoofer, so you still have all your cargo space, but it's got a nice Focal 10-inch sub in a sealed enclosure. So this has an AX15 transmission, 5-speed transmission, made it to an Atlas II transfer case that are all designed to work together.
Well, I want to look under the hood because something special is under there.
Yes. So this is the first Beta Cummins 2.8 liter turbo diesels. They have 25 Beta engines that are going out to aftermarket installers, and so this is Beta number 1, which is really exciting.
The guys at New Legend told me that they got about 25 mpg on the highway with these heavy axles and these mud terrain tires, which is pretty impressive for a brand new engine. And this is a beta program. Cummins produced about 25 engines and they gave it to builders to try out, to see how the fitment fits.
On our drive down, we drove this from Iowa to Flagstaff, about 1,500 miles, and we averaged about 25 miles per gallon, doing 75 miles an hour, which is pretty awesome.
It's nothing to sneeze at.
No, and it's got great sound too.
I really like that companies like this preserve the original bodies and put them on new chassis. I think it's really cool, but I'm very excited about this new Cummins crate engine, and I really hope that Cummins will work with other manufacturers to get the 2.8 liter diesel into more vehicles.
What we're offering first for the R2.8 is targeted at light duty truck 1 and 2 for tier 0 and tier 1 models. So if you want to translate that into model years, really we're targeting about a 1999 model year brake for an engine that's a turbo diesel, high pressure common rail, kind of a shrunk down version of the same architecture we use on like an 03 vintage 5.9. Power wise, 161 horsepower at 3,200 RPM, flat torque curve from 1,500 to 3,000 RPM at 267 foot-pounds. We know our engine with Ram is much more impressive in the 900 foot-pound family range, and our engine with Nissan is also in the 555 foot-pound range, but this is a 500-pound compact crate engine that for its target vehicles, for these iconic four-wheel drives, whether it's a Scout or a Jeep, a Land Rover, Land Cruiser, it's more than what it originally had. It's much more efficient and it's much more dependable. This is an electronic controlled engine. Make it plug and play. So we have an under the hood wiring harness that then comes through a bulkhead fitting on your firewall. So if you have a 2-inch hole you put in your firewall, you can screw in this nice Deutsch connector. And we have everything from your accelerator pedal, which they mount into the firewall, and the plug for that, all the way up to this Murphy gauge. So this is a standard J1939 Murphy gauge, which they can read out vitals that we broadcast. So engine RPM, temp, battery, oil pressure, boost, all that good stuff. You'll see here where this red plug is, we have a data logger plugged in since this is a test vehicle for us, but it's just plugged into a standard OBD 16-pin port. Cost-wise, if you were to budget for kind of an LS E-Rod price, you would be pleasantly surprised with this. We're hoping to announce today, but we're not quite there with a few boxes we need to tick.
A couple of cool things. Again, this is our 800S, and the S stands for stripped. So this is really a utilitarian vehicle as opposed to like the orange one we'll look at in a second. That's more outfitted with premium top end kind of comfort features. This is made to be utilitarian, kind of how it was designed. So this, we have a DOM roll cage that took the place of the original hard top, and then our canvas top was fitted to just fit right over that as its frame, which also allows us to integrate up this roof rack, which is full load capacity because it's mounted directly to the roll cage.
You have seat belts?
Yep, this also gives us the opportunity to put in modern 3-point retractable seat belts in the front and the rear. So it keeps all the passengers safe. It's got big 4-wheel disc brakes, a Hydro Boost brake system. So it's got a lot of nice performance features.
And tell me about the tires. Can the customer choose whatever options they want, or how does that work?
Yes and no. So one thing that's interesting about the Jeep Wrangler chassis is it's about 6 inches wider than a stock Scout 800 axle. So the aesthetic of the wheels sticking out is a pretty important item. So these wheels are, commonly called JK winter wheels, and they have a 6 1/4 backspace. So that allows us to push the wheels back in to keep our flush wheel wells, which that's really important to get to maintain the look. And they're just BFG KM2s, which is another great tire, but a 34-inch tire.
Is there like a starting price for this project?
The pricing would include the starter Scout. So we source the bodies, and we try to find good, clean, rust-free examples, which is getting harder and harder to do. But the base price of this is right around $95 to $105, depending on some of the options. But yeah, this came in right about $100 grand. So this is again in our New Legends series. This is one of our Scout Twos, which again is a little more refined of a product, a little more comfortable, and a little more performance oriented. So this is a 2016 Corvette LT1, 460 horsepower, 480 foot-pounds of torque. It's direct injected, so it's a really efficient engine, and we haven't driven it a ton, but we're expecting anywhere from 17 to 19 miles per gallon, and again just outstanding performance. Yeah, so the LT1 is connected to a 6L80, and there's actually, it's not available through GM Performance. So the company that we work with, Pace Performance, is one of the only companies in the country that mates this engine to that transmission. So it's just got puts the power to the ground a little more efficiently, got a high torque rating, and it works out real well. And it's mated to an Atlas, again an Atlas transfer case, a 3.0 Atlas. We start with a lot of heat and sound insulation, so this is actually a really quiet and comfortable ride. We have leather wrapped dash, leather seats, and this vintage plaid interior, outfitted again with this premium components, restored original gauges, the Nardi steering wheel. And even though everything's new, we still try to maintain some of the vintage feel. Again, full 6-point, actually it's more like an 8-point roll cage with 3-point seat belts, front and rear. So a lot of safety built in, and there's a custom fitted roof rack that is direct mount through the roof.
Some switch gear here.
Yeah, this is a S-Pod switch unit, so everything is controlled with an S-Pod unit. So everything's It's just real safe and reliable. Yep, and this truck is outfitted with our Workman bumpers front and rear. Again, just top quality craftsmanship. We use all Putco lighting, which they're handmade in Des Moines, Iowa. This is a dual swing arm carrier. We got the spare tire, and this is just a universal basket that we can fit jerry cans or whatever else we want to use.
And the pricing is about the same as the white?
A little higher. These started at about $125. Again, that includes the starter truck.
Go back to tflcar.com for more news, views, and real-world reviews, and of course, a lot more from the Overland Expo.